everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. I am glad that you're here today. I am starting out today with my new obsession, the Isamaya Beauty Incredible Ceramide Cream Foundation. I can't get enough of this, and it stays looking beautiful all day, and the pink powder only makes it look even better. So we're going to do skin first today, and then we're going to try out some new eyes. So I hope you want to stick around for that, but I really want to like dig in deep with this. Let me get you in a little closer. Here we go. As you can see, I am looking tired. We just lost an hour of sleep that I really could use. I'm sure you feel the same way. Can they please just do away with this? Like, I'm excited that it's going to be laid out later, but come on. Like, we need more than this. I am going to start out today with a little bit of color corrector, because the one thing that I have noticed is that this really does a lot of favors for me when I go in with the foundation. I don't have to use as much, and less makeup for me is better than more makeup. I just find that when I have a lot of foundation on, and it just starts to get kind of mask looking, I really don't love that. So I'm going to take my Angie Hot and Flashy Handy A506, and I'm just going to tap this Live Tinted underneath my eyes. And we're going to get rid of some of that darkness. And I'm only putting this actually where those lines of darkness are. That's why kind of going in with the brush kind of helps you really get that product where it needs to go. And honestly, it's already looking better than it was just with that. So I bought my foundation from Isamaya Beauty in 2 shades, and I do that because I never wind up using less than one color, because I'm at least using a concealer and a foundation, and then, you know, sometimes we highlight and contour. But I am going to take the lighter shade, and this is just so easy because you can use fingers. What could be easier than fingers? I'm going to go underneath my eyes first with this lighter color. And I'm just going to bounce some of this underneath my eyes. So tonight is the Oscars. I'm very excited for the pregame. I don't usually watch the show, but I love watching all of the outfits. Look at how much that just did, just with like a little tiny bit on my finger. And I'm just bouncing this and covering up the exhaustion that is the Sunday blues. What is it with the Sunday blues? Like, even when I was a school teacher for a million years, I still got the Sunday blues. It's like you can't even start thinking about your Monday without already like eliminating the greatness that is Sunday. It's like you're thinking about tomorrow, and you're doing so much, you know, planning to get ahead, and everybody's worried about losing the sleep tomorrow. We can all just be zombies that need that extra trip for some coffee. So that's just with color corrector and a little bit of this ceramide cream foundation. This is a waterless formula. I'm going into the actual foundation now. I'm going to dot this around my face. And it is like putting a filter on your skin. And I know I started talking about this in some of my other videos, but the chemist and co-owner of Mob Beauty, was one of the original people that put together MAC. And so to say that he has a lot of experience, I don't know. He has an incredible amount of knowledge, and everything that they are doing over at Mob is about sustainability, doing great things for the environment, doing great things for us with good ingredients, and just this little bit of foundation that I will now push in with my hands, my fingers. He took them 2 years to make this foundation. So what they did was they kept going back to reformulating, trying things. They were talking to people about what they should do, what they should change. And I mean, in 2 seconds flat, like, that's just how much better my skin can look just from that. Just from that. It's pretty amazing. I am going to go underneath my eyes and just press this in a little. We'll see if we need to add a little bit more or not. I don't like to add extra until I totally find out if we need it. So the second thing that I'm really excited about was this new pink powder. And I have been a complete and total, Prism Libre Volet Rose addict for quite some time now. And the cool thing about the Mob one, aside from all the sustainability stuff, is that there is no talc in this whatsoever. So I started using some of those disposable individual towels for when you are washing your face. And this company that I've been using them from is called Face Made, and they make these delightful powder puffs that are so cushiony and wonderful. So I'm just going to take some of this pink powder to give myself a nice blur. Go up through the middle here, down the nose on both sides. And you can just see your skin getting better and getting more blurred. And the crazy thing is, I hate powder. Like, I can't stand it. It makes my dry skin look older. I've found a few powders in like the last year that I can use to blur and to, really help with shine and just kind of keep my makeup in line. But I have to say, there's nothing like this powder. I put this on. It doesn't settle into lines, and neither does this foundation. And you just wind up with this incredible skin that just looks and feels so much better. I actually think that this helps my skin in the long run during the day. And then when I take my makeup off at night, it's not that relief that you need. It's just, you're like washing your face. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to go old school today, and I am going to use my Painterly paint pot. I actually just picked up a new one. They do dry out, but I still think it's one of the best eye primers out there. This comes in a variety of colors that are matte that, you can head into an Ulta and try some of these out. Find one that you think will be a good color match for you to use for just kind of blanking out some of those veins and some of the discoloration that you have on your lids, and it just lets you start with this really nice surface, which I love. And already feeling and looking better than I was. It was kind of rough. We have a few things that have come out this week, and it's like so hard to know what to do first. The first thing I want to mention is that Victoria Beckham put out some new eyewear. Her eyewear are her incredible crayons that she put out last year. And there are 3 new shades, which I'm definitely wanting to show you at least swatches of right now. One is called Ballet Pink. And this is a warm, but with some shimmer, very light color called Ballet. This will be gorgeous on summer days, and I know it. The second one is a matte, and this one is called Sky Blue, and it does look definitely bright when you first put it on, except that when you blend it out, it's like, it really is like the sky. Just a beautiful, beautiful blue. Love it. And then the last color, which I think is going to be quite popular, is this one called Shroom. And I'm always up for a good cool tone taupe. This one did not disappoint. So this one has some shimmer too. And I'm going to blend this one. And the pink, although harder to see, is really beautiful. And I think that there are going to be just so many cool ways to wear this. And what I kind of want to do, I wanted to show you these swatches now. Last summer, she put out a lot of the eyewear. So last summer, she put out this one. And I know this was gone for a long time. I'm going to put this right next to here. This is a matte, and it was almost like a lilac pink. So you can see that it's really nothing like the one above it. It's got the reflect in it, and the tones are just completely different. Then she also put out one called Pecan, and this is one of the favorites, I feel like, from the bunch. This was a nice, warm, more neutral, even leaning brown that was not sparkly. There's one here that she did put out with some shimmer last year called Oyster. And Oyster was one of these great kind of highlighter colors, which you'll see like right here. And it just really did a great job with these. You get some really nice playtime with these, and then when they set, they set. They really, really set. The next one, this one's called Caramel, and I'm going to put it right here next to the taupe. This one had that little bit of shimmer, but not a ton, and it's definitely a much golder and more warm tone than Shroom. One of the colors that I wore the most was a color called Trench, because for me, I'm running out of space here. This is very close to my skin tone, and when I blend this out, it really makes my lid look nude. So I really liked that one. How many? It's sitting right here because like I just can't get my act together. Right, the bottle green we're going to put over here. And this one had a little bit of shimmer to it also, kind of in a group by itself. So these colors are fantastic. So once again, we have the Trench, we have Pecan, we have the new one over here, Shroom. Right next to it, we have Caramel. And we've got our new Cornflower blue color, the new warm shimmering pink. We have the macaroon from last summer, the bottle green from last summer, and pecan down here is like our matte brown. Now the crazy thing is that there's so many eyeshadow sticks out there, but for some reason these just wear so well, like in the heat, and you know you're going to be going outside and you know you're going to need to get near this. Really good sticks. Love them. Today, I kind of wanted to take a look at the new Mario palette. I have it right here. Now, I have to say, I had not picked up the original Mario palette. I have it now because I'm reviewing makeup, but I did not have this before. And he's calling this the Neutrals. And a lot of people are calling it the Cool Toned palette. And when I hold it up, I mean, I definitely see that this gray one goes a little bit cool. But these seem mostly like they're just very much in the middle. Last palette that he made was all mattes. It was the Master Matte. And it's been copied a whole bunch since it first came out. But these colors really were very warm. And just to show you both of these together, I didn't take this off the mirrors yet, so hopefully we will. I think I need to back up the lens a little. So here we go. We've got the original Master Mattes and we've got the Neutrals. And I wanted to show you a couple of palettes before we get started on using the new one. This one, I was one of the lucky ones to get this palette the first time that it came out. And this formula seemed very different from this one with the Master Mattes. And yes, some of these are powdery, but it wasn't all matte. And these pans that have the shimmers really introduced us to some pretty sensational and gorgeous toppers. And they had great shine and sparkle. And it had seemed like his formula had changed somewhat. And, you know, it was sort of this freestanding palette. I know a lot of people waited a long time for this. They paid tons of money out of pocket for it. Second seller, like on places like eBay or Mercari. This had a mix of both. And quite honestly, I think this is a fantastic palette. I love using it. I've had, you know, no problems with it whatsoever. When I had tried to take a look at this one for the first time, I kept thinking, why do I need this? What's the point? I thought that for several reasons. I had this one, and this is the Biba palette. And here is the Master Mattes underneath it. I pretty much had what I needed and more in the Biba palette than what Mario was offering. I just didn't feel like I needed another palette when I already had this. And then to add to that, we got the I Need a Nude palette. which didn't really overlap much over here. But now that I'm looking, we're getting some overlap over here. Plus, the original Cool Tone Baby, I had this one from Natasha Denona, the Glam palette. Now, I will say this size is really nice to travel with. However, not having any shimmers whatsoever in a palette, I guess, can be like your blessing and your curse. Like, which way do you go with it? I am going to swatch these, mostly because I want to see what this formula is like. I'm tempted to do the old one first, but I'm going to do the new one first. And we're going to swatch the whole thing on my arms, which you guys know I'm so good at swatches. So really, let's get excited here. I am going to swatch what I can over here, and then I will try to do the other one on this arm. We'll kind of like take a look, and then we'll hold up some of the other colors and see what we're thinking. I'm just wondering if this is something that you need. Is it going to be convenient? Are you using like a ton of really sparkly shades and you need something to hold that up, like building what I like to call a frame so that it'll carry anything? All right, well, we're going to swatch this palette first. I'm going to go ahead with the first row. They definitely seem to be having some kickback and a little bit powdery feeling. So we are going to swatch these from the top row. Let's go into the second row here. Again, just going back and forth on these pans, I'm getting major kickback here. That's the next row. These don't seem to be crazy pigmented, and I'm not upset about it. I think sometimes when an eyeshadow comes right out of there, just crazy and very pigmented, it gets hard to control. And when you lose control of colors like this, it can get muddy and weird. That is the last row. These seem to be more saturated looking. So that is our neutrals palette. I actually think there's a really nice variety of colors here. Kind of go from those tans into more of the browns, kind of into like the gray blacks. So I do think we definitely get a nice variety. And you know, every once in a while you're like looking around for a matte. This is a very easy place to go, not that these other ones weren't. All right, so I bought this one because I needed to be able to compare it. We're going to do this on the other side. I'm going to see if the formula feels the same. These feel very smooth. You can see that those are much warmer looking. The thing that was so great about these palettes at the beginning was that I felt like, you know, people had a place to go and buy these colors at a place like Sephora. And I think generally these were the kind of palettes that makeup artists had bought originally. This kind of like took it into the mainstream. Viseart had made palettes like this for a long time. We now have Isamaya making palettes like this. So I do think that these are becoming more mainstream for the everyday user. Okay. We have all the shades. Sorry about these bracelets. I'm going to try to hold them up. We have all the shades here. And truthfully, some of them look a little patchy. I don't know if it was my wonky swatches, but we will see. I'm probably going to do one eye with this and one eye with these just to kind of compare and see what kind of look we can get. How are you guys feeling? Like, sound off down below. Do you feel like you need a dedicated palette of just mattes? Or do you feel like between all of the palettes that you have right now, you've got plenty of mattes and you don't need these separately? These warm mattes are really warm. They look like they would be tough for somebody with my skin tone to wear, so we're going to find out. We're going to start with the new one. And the other thing I noticed was the older one, it's shiny on the outside, and the new one is matte. So if you like look down to grab, they're both not exactly alike, which is really nice. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to start out with a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to go into, I'm going to have this over here, so let me scoot over a little bit. I'm going to go into the second color here and just kind of get my whole lid just kind of covered in this second shade. Seems like a good color to start out with. It's not the lightest in the palette, but it's the second one. And that looks really nice. It's even. It doesn't look like it's catching anywhere. Yeah, I mean, so far, no problems. We are going to go into, I think we'll take this one over here that's got like a pinky tone to it. So it's the third one in, boy, this is kicking up. There is definitely some kickback here. I'm going to go right into my crease here. My fake crease, they should say. And just start kind of spreading this onto like where my brow bone is. And this is a very fluffy brush because I just want to get a really soft blend here. It's an Old Wayne Goss brush number 3. Just trying to pick up some of the kickback to use this time. I think this is a palette where you're going to have to off before you go into other colors so you don't rub them in. All right, so we've got a really nice start here. This brush seems to be doing us some favors. Angie Hot and Flashy A503. We're going to go into that first color in the second row. I'm going to tap off. I'm going to go a little bit further over here because I want to darken over here where my eye juts out a little bit more, just to kind of push that area back a little bit more. I'm doing some sagging, and I'm going to place this into the corner and just try to pull that up and out. And even though these are powdery in the eye, it doesn't look like I'm getting a whole lot of fallout here. So I think the tapping off is helping. We are going to get a fan brush, and I'm going to go down to the last row, and I'm going to go to the first color. And I just want to pull this from the bottom of my lashes out. And it's just a little bit darker of a color. I like to have it a little bit darker behind those lashes right there. And I'm trying to pull this eyeshadow up and out so we can get like that really nice blend. And just bring a little tiny bit of it up here. And I think going over it with your finger to see how things feel is perfectly acceptable and a good way to go about it. Okay, we're going to go into, I think the first shade that we were kind of avoiding at first. I'm taking the Sonia G T5. And I just want to go in. Oh, this is very light. Okay, well, let's see how it spreads. Trying to keep this on the mobile lid and over here so I can kind of foof it up a little bit. Okay, I took way too much of that color. We're going to need to get a brush with nothing on it and just go in and get that blended. And we're going to go back into that first blending brush, go back into that third color on the second row. These really are blending nicely. They're easy to spread. Let's go into the next brown shade on the bottom. This is a very dark brown. I'm going to actually bounce this on the back of my hand to make sure I don't get a lot of fallout here. We're going to put this one here, right in the corner. And I'm just really patting this color. Since we know these have some kickback, I just want to get a nice gradient there. And I want to take a teeny tiny bit of it right here, because this is where I need to push the eye back a little bit. It's like right there. And that works. That worked out really well. That was pretty easy. Okay, and I'm going to take this fan brush again. Let's go up into top right. Add a little bit of more of a brown to this. It's starting to get very gray looking, which I don't mind. I like those kind of tones. I'm going with my fingers, guys. I like this Cafe au lait color. I really want to spread that here. I'm finding it really easy to blend these, and I'm having absolutely no problems with them. I need a little bit of a denser brush here to go back into. I'm going to go actually into the second color instead of the first one, since I had such a good amount of that already. This is a very dense brush because I want to make sure we've got really nice coverage of that lighter tone before we take it out into where it's going out over here. And we are going to go into, still really want some more brown, top right. Let's see if we can blend out some of this gray tone and really make this more of a neutral look with this kind of like coffee color. I guess they're all coffee colors, but this looks like my coffee sometimes. I'm going to put some of the brown underneath. Let's go into some warmer brown on the second row. And I just want to go underneath my eyelashes. It's probably not the best brush for this. Let's try this guy. I want to keep it tight so that I don't have any problems with fallout underneath. This is a nice tight brush for that. And I'm going to go into a tiny bit of the black because I just want to see what kind of a black this is. Having a really easy time of darkening up that crease with just that tiny little amount of black. I think it's looking really pretty so far. I don't know that I really want to go gray, and I definitely want to get a really nice blend here. Go into, let's go into that third color. It's sort of like a flax color. And let's blend out the top of this. See, this is really bringing back a lot more of that brown, even though it's a super faded out color. It's a great blend out color. Now the names of these are all on the back, but they're all like numbers. So it doesn't help like a whole lot, which is why I'm showing you over here what I'm using. What do you guys think? I want to get in here with a flatter brush. Go back into this third row. And I want to blend this line that seems to be a little harsh. I want to switch sides for a minute and kind of follow along the same way that we just did. These are definitely warmer, and usually for me, it is easier for me to wear cooler tones than warmer tones. So I'm going to try to find something that's going to work into my crease. We'll start with, boy, some of these are so green looking. Let's start with the third one in the second row. Using that same Wayne Goss brush. Start to carve out a bit of a crease here. And we'll take a little bit of that and just kind of move it up like this. Okay. Let's go into number 3. Really shake that off and put this across the lid. Very much in the same spirit of what we were trying to do on the other side. Take a fan brush now. And I'm going to go into this bottom right. I like this reddish brown, looks really pretty. Use that to start to get our shape of up and out over here. Looks really nice. I like that color a lot. I am going to bring this underneath my lower lash line also. And take my finger and go into the next color over and try to kind of build this without getting any fallout. That seems to be working. Let's try that with the other palette on this side, because I'm liking the way that this is coming out, but this side I think we went too dark too quickly. Let's just go into this last one in the row. It's got more brown. I mean, I definitely see where this is going with it being more neutral. But is it more neutral or is it more cool toned? I think keeping some of the brown going with some of the grays is going to be the ticket to not getting it to go too cool, if that's what you're going for. Take a little bit of this, go back into the, gotta keep these. Let's go back over here. Go into this light color again. I'm gonna go on top of that line. Give it a little blur. Over here on this side, I'm going to need something to be pushing this back a little bit. My husband ordered dinner. It's like he cooked. Okay, so let's go over here. Get a little bit more of this brown. I want to go underneath this eye and try to sweep a little of the, I'm going to get like a little bit of a warmer brown under here. Just so this doesn't go too cool too quickly. There we go. These half fan brushes are so nice. And I think the key to this is really going to be in some eyeliner choices. I'm going to try to really accent the colors. All right, we're going to go in with cinnamon on our warm side. Go into the waterline here. It's definitely a warm brown. Put a little of it here. And I'm going to take this side. Just kind of smudge that a little bit. Just to give us a little bit of extra shape. And I would love to pull ash from over here. Like ash! Yay! So this is a really nice smoky gray. And I'm just going up into my waterline. Now you'll notice that I'm getting more definition over here because of the color. And add a little bit of this copper color to the cinnamon. Just to really deepen that color. I'm not putting anything on the lower lash line for right now. All right, let's take a look at these two eyes. We have the Mario Master Mattes over here, and we have the neutral one over here. We're going to put on a good amount of Victoria Beckham mascara, and I'm going to show you how we can really make these a little more jazzy if we felt like it. So I'm just going to apply a nice coat of mascara. This mascara works best if you work from root to tip, kind of doing blinking motions where you're actually blinking into the applicator. This mascara is great when it's wet, and as soon as it dries and starts to set down, your playtime is over. You got to really get the shape that you're looking for, really push those lashes up. You want them fanned out, get them going. Push the rest of it over this way. Just realizing that I never curled my lashes, but this mascara can usually handle that. This is why I like to do it before I start an eye look. One of the 1,000 reasons. See, that's a huge difference there. Let's do this eye. I think I'm lucky that my eyelashes are curly. Try not to block you from the mirror over here, but the mascara gymnastics are harder on the left eye. And I'm linking and curling it over here. It's really a beautiful mascara that really takes your eyelashes to the next level. It is not your old-fashioned tubing mascara formula. It doesn't come off in literal tubes, but it washes off with warm water and it doesn't do anything weird during the day. Like I wear a lot of stuff underneath my eyes for hydration. I don't get anything. So let's see what we have here. Let's get a Q-tip first and clean up whatever it is that I did not clean up. I'm going to pull this out just to get that nice lift. These are from Ulta. They're fantastic. They have a flat side and a very pointy side where you can really give yourself that nice eye lift. So let's take a look at these. With mascara, it doesn't look crazy different. Let's see if we can fluff up a little bit. This is the cool tone side. See if we can fluff this up a little. I like that. And let's see if we can fluff this side up a little bit. This side doesn't need quite as much. I'm going to go with a more peachy color over here. So we have one that's decidedly more cool or neutral, and one that's decidedly more warm. And then what I would do to an eye look like this is a great during the day run around color, but I'm going to show you how you can take this to the next level. So with these palettes that I was using before, like the Glam palette and the I Need a Nude palette, those come with some really nice shimmers that you can pull into looks, and I think we've gotten used to being able to go to these for some sparkle. The other place that I'd like to take you to look for some sparkle are into the Victoria Beckham Lid Lustres. To me, when you have a frame like this and you want to jazz things up for dinner, I don't think that there's a better way to go than just pulling one of these out of your bag with your finger and amping up your look. I am going to take the color Mirror for the first eye. It's a silvery color, a lot of reflection. Show you a swatch of this. You just get that really nice silvery look. I'm going to put this right in the center here. And I'm just going to spread that. To get that nice reflect. You just kind of make it a little bit more twinkly. I think that color is perfect with that eye. I think it brings out the cooler tones, didn't add any texture or anything. The other side where we're warm, I think we're going to go ahead and take out Starlight since we went silver over here. Let's go golden over here. This is what this swatch looks like. And I'm going to just take it on my finger and do the same thing on this side that I did over here, except for instead of silver, I'm going to use the gold. And this one is called Starlight. And I just love the way that you can make these frames. You can bring in any of your fun glitters that make you happy. You're going to be taking this from day to night. It's really nice to have an option of something that you can just throw into your bag that's like very, very small. But I think both of these are really pretty. So here we have two totally different looks. we have our cool neutrals. And on this side, we have our warm. And both of them are equally pretty. I had no problem using either one of these formulas. They seemed, yes, to be a little bit powdery in the pan, but it translated just fine on the eyes. Let's put a little lipstick and blush on. I think we're going to use this color called Not Too Much. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, and not too much sounds like not too much of a problem for us to try it. These are the new Patrick Ta blushes. And I'm actually looking here. I think this is going to go much better with the warm side. So we'll go one side and the other. I already look crazy. Why not? Why not? Now, Patrick Ta likes you to take the powder first and then put the cream on top. You kind of go back and forth. But I am going to, now remember, I have no contour on yet and no bronzer on yet, nothing. Just going into the blush. And take a little bit of this cream. And just like it was said, it's not too much. I think it's just right. And I think for this side, we can try just enough. This is a nice cool tone pink. So we'll see how that. Ooh, hello. All right. It's like this stuff comes and I'm like trying to get it all shown to you guys. And right now I'm feeling like as much stuff as you can take a look at now before all the sales start, the better. That's really pretty with the cool tone, actually. All right, so we've got blush on both sides. I want to put a little bronzer on here. We need it. I'm going to take the one from Phytosurgeons. This is number 4, Rosy Warmth. This bronzer picks up very nicely and evenly. This is a rosy color that will go equally well on both sides. I'm finding lately that anytime I'm not using bronzer, I just look kind of like I've been through the whole winter without getting any sun, because that's what we did. I'm just going to go like that. Put some down my neck. And I love the way that this foundation kept things going really naturally for us. I want to take a very neutral kind of a lip to put on so that it goes with both of these. We're going to go into our new Merit. We're going to go into Maison. These are the most comfortable lips that are matte that I've ever put on. They feel like a cream. I think this color really lends itself well to both warm and cool tones. Their lipsticks have for the most part a very neutral looking kind of tint. Let's put a little lip liner on here. I think we're going to go with Nude. It's a little bit cooler because I do like it to look more like a shadow. So, in a very easy, not very complicated way, I think we've taken a really good look at what these eyeshadows will do and won't do. So I'm looking over here. Let's get you nice and close. Here's my cool tone side. Here's my warm tone side. Now, although I am usually more comfortable in this neutral cool range, I really don't feel like, other than this one gray in the Mario, this one up here, I don't feel like these were particularly cool. Cooler, maybe, than those. But like if I hold up Glam, which we know is a cool tone palette, it kind of makes some of those browns look pretty warm. I do have one other palette I wanted to pull. Take a look at the Natasha Denona Xenon palette for a minute. Now this is no way as the Xenon palette. No. No. Not even in the same zip code. But I do have another kind of interesting one to pull. This is a palette I don't pull out very often, but when I need a really good cool tone, I pull out the Violet Voss Vibes. This is her Cool Vibes palette. I think I just like saying Cool Vibes. Feels very Matthew McConaughey. But if you look here, you do have some overlap. And let's see how different some of those browns are from the warm tone palette. Now you've got a nice difference. But because the one below looks so much cooler than this one, you can tell that this is a more neutral leaning cool palette. And you could always add, you know, some cooler tones or some warmer tones to these. I think these are really nice for travel. I think they're really easy to throw in your bag, you know, if you want to fix yourself at the gym before you go back to work, something like that. I do feel like we're very well served in most of the eyeshadow palettes that we use these days in getting a combination of warm and cool tones or of colors that will work in that palette. I know that a lot of palettes definitely lean more warm, and sometimes we have to like reach for those cool tones, and I'm one of those people that really likes to do that. So I think these will come in handy. Do I think they're groundbreaking and anything that we haven't seen before? No, I really don't. I don't feel like these colors, just because they're more almost modern right now, this almost looks to me like more of what we were doing 2017, 2018, 2019. This seems more now. This seems more today. This seems more just in line with what we're doing. I know I went very cool over here, but watch what happens if I just slightly change a couple of the tones in here. And I'm going to stick with the warmer of these tones. But if I go in here and I bring in some of this brown, it's going to seem like a much more neutral palette than what we've had over here. Obviously, we're comparing apples to oranges here, but there you have it. I'm going to take a little Mimi, because I love Mimi. Just give myself a very small amount of a really easy to wear blush. And then to make sure that you have something that's going to work with both of these, just take a little bit of your highlighter. That's just like a no color kind of champagne-y look. Very easy, can get out the door quickly. I think these looks both turned out really beautifully. I think that this is going to be a palette that I think people will get some mileage out of. And hopefully we'll be pulling the other one out also to, you know, see what the differences are and what you can do. Now, obviously, you don't have to go silver and gold with these sparkles. These could hold up pretty much any color and any sparkles and any, you know, fun that you want to add to that. You also don't have to. You can leave these matte perfectly fine. I just did a whole matte look the other day and I was like, wow, that's not bad. I kind of like that. Just for fun, I wanted to just show you what I did last year with Oyster. And it's going to seem very green here, but it does give you like the little bit of brightness. It's so fun when you get old and you can't read stuff. It's just, yeah. I don't want to admit that I need like my reading glasses like strapped to my body at this point. So I can't function without them. All right, guys, I just added a little of my Isamaya lip gloss in the shade You're Old and You Can't Read It. Mortal. Because I am a mortal, I can't read. But I do love that little bit of luminosity that it brings to this whole look, and it just sort of like brought the whole thing to life. Plus, I just want to show you one thing. Take a little bit of this clay one, just so I can go out and not look crazy. Guys, the skin, the everything from My Beauty is blowing my mind. I need it to blow your mind. I literally cannot believe that this powder that has no talc, I feel, if you said, do you have powder on right now? And I said, absolutely not. I think I would not be lying to you right now, because this is just, I don't even know what to call it. It's like, who cares about all these kids that are changing their pictures and doing things with the social media that I will not do on this channel? But damn straight, I'm going to wear a blurring foundation and powder. I don't think there is a better combination out there right now than the ceramide cream foundation and the powder from My Beauty. Guys, when I tell you that I don't see the amount of wrinkles that I normally see, that I'm looking right now, I don't see the kind of pores that I normally see. Like if I go like this on my nose, nothing. Like pores blurred, looking fantastic. Super happy. Okay, guys, I think that you can definitely see that these are both going to be helpful to you if you need a palette of all mattes. I really definitely feel like if you do better in warmer tones, and that's just sort of your wheelhouse that you enjoy being in, I still think that the Mario mattes, they do stand the test of time. However, if you like more neutral to cool, and you find that most of your looks are in this department, I think you're going to do fine with this one also. Now, remember, when these go on the Sephora sale in a month, instead of $50, you're only going to be paying $40. That's a big difference. And yes, I know you're getting, you know, a really nice plastic palette with a mirror, and you're getting, you know, 12 shades, which is really great. But I want to know, like, how many people are going to do, like, an all matte look like that? I feel like if I'm going to do an all matte look, I'm going to go into some kind of eyewear and put something on that's just going to last and last and last. And when I get done eating, I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to take this off. And we are going to do a look with the new Victoria Beckham's. And I want to show you how you can use those crayons for everything. Her eyewear, to me, is not just like any other cream shadow stick. I feel like her colors are more beautiful, exciting, not as, you know, like overly shimmery. This Shroom color, I don't even know if I can talk about it. That's how much I like it. Like, I think I need to go order another one of these now because I'm like scared it's going to be gone. I could wear this every single day and be fine. So, preview. It was a little preview. All right, so Mario did a great job. Beautiful mattes, Mob Beauty. I don't even know what I did without you. This is like, it's, first of all, it's the most exciting thing because if you travel with this, they're waterless. So they're not going to get weird and gross and drippy all over the place, and you're not going to have to worry about flying with it, which is such a nice thing. I have fallen in love with their clay shadows, which I'm going to be ordering more of. I want to get a few of their shimmers to try out just to see, but to be honest, we all have shimmers. Her Mob Beauty takes colors to a new level. I feel like it's not just a formula, it's a feeling. And I love a business that opens up its doors and shows people what they're really doing, that show people what ingredients they're taking out and why the US is so far behind the EU in keeping us safe. Anyway, I'm going to go downstairs and not watch the Oscars with my husband because I'm sure he will not be into that. And we haven't seen a movie at a movie theater yet, so that's a little weird too. But I have to say, Mario, I like it. I like both of these very much. I think they're both really pretty. I will definitely get use out of these. I think you will too. But I do think you need to really dig into your collection and ask yourself, do I need a whole entire palette of mattes if you're not a makeup artist? And that'll be the decision that you have to make. For me, I know that I would get more use out of the neutrals palette, but we're going into summer. And I feel like so many of our bronzy looks with, you know, tons and tons of bronzer and everything are just going to be so pretty with these. So, yay. I mean, I love them. I think they look great. I think you're going to look great in them too. And that's all I really have right now. I'm going to come back later tonight and we'll take a look at some more, but I think these palettes are great. And I think they do exactly what you need them to do. And that is create a very quick, easy, either frame for something or just matte look that you can run out the door in quickly and that you can jazz up if you want to go out at night. Thank you so much for being here today. I've loved having you spend some time. Happy Oscars, everybody. And I hope that your day tomorrow goes okay. This losing an hour of sleep thing is so hard. It really is. All right, everybody, you take care. See you soon. Bye.